We're discussing Joshua Funder's book, Watson's Pier. It's a story of his great-grandfather, Stanley Watson. Joshua is a business biotech fella. He's not written a novel before, but this is such a beautiful novel. And Watson's Pier is a very famous object that he came up with. He designed and built.
So Watson's Pier was the first pier built along the Gallipoli battlefront. It was built smack bang in the middle of Anzac Cove. And they knew that they needed to unblock the bottleneck on the beach to land more supplies, and also to get the injured men away without wading them through the shallows. But even early on, they realised that they were at a stalemate, and they thought that they might need piers in order to evacuate. But Watson's Pier is a strange moment in the campaign. It's constructing something while all around things are being destroyed. They built it in full view of the Turks and under direct fire.
At great risk.
And it was always considered one of the most dangerous places and assignments. Watson had to design it. He also had to scavenge the materials for it and convince men to go and work on it because it was very dangerous. To celebrate the finish of the pier, someone remembered that it was the 100-year anniversary of the Waterloo, the successful Battle of Waterloo. They thought they'd have a commemorative dinner, and for that they got the rum ration. So 13 men sat together and had a dinner. They wrote a beautiful menu, which was totally spurious. It was funny and wry, and it was as if they were having a feast when, in reality, they were eating bully beef and hardtack biscuits.
In the trenches.
In the trenches. They were celebrating the centenary of a victory where soldiers marched into a field, the British won, they went home and declared victory, while they were engaged in a stalemate. And so the suspension of disbelief that they required to have a dinner and escape is a tipping point in the campaign, because after that they actually had the suspension of disbelief to dare to get everybody off and to do that.
And your great-grandfather acknowledged the success of that retreat. You describe with great tension the decision that he had to take about who would stay with him, right down to those last moments. And there is some debate over whether he was the last. He thinks he was the second last Australian to leave Anzac Cove during the First World War. Do we know?
I'm pretty sure that that's the right history. The letter from the official war historian Bean in the 1950s, when he was ill and dying, says to Watson, "I'm sorry, but your account of the evacuation in those last moments is correct, and the official history is wrong." So we have the official war historian correcting himself, but it never made it in. So part of the aim of this book is to correct the record. That was important for Watson. But it's really to rebalance our memories of Gallipoli and our understanding of it.
Tom Keneally has described it as a remarkable recreation. What do you think Stanley Watson might think?
It's tough writing about a family member fiction. And so you need to declare that it is fiction in order to give yourself that liberty. I was delighted that Tom Keneally could give me the courage to do that as well. More recently, Major General John Cantwell, who wrote Exit Wounds, he was a very senior military commander in charge of all Australian forces in Afghanistan and came back and retired with PTSD. He said that the book was true to his experience of war.
Gee.
So that meant an enormous amount to me. With no experience of battle myself, gave me confidence that my great-grandfather would have also agreed.
And I can see the emotion is close to the surface there in breathing life into your long-dead great-grandfather. What a wonderful thing to have done for him and your family. Joshua Funder, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on Watson's Pier.
Natasha, thank you.